This is the sample final for MH110. You go through and do problems like everyone on your sample file. The actual sample file you have should be the same general types of questions, just with numbers changed. And the actual final, again, should be the same number of questions, same type, just with the numbers changed. The first question tells me, solve the equation for y, find 3 solutions, draw the graph. First thing I want to do is take all my y's to one side, my x's and numbers without a variable to the other. The good news is this equation already has this form. The y's are on the left, the x's and the other numbers are on the right. So what I now need to do is get it in terms of 1y. Since it's currently being multiplied by 10 for 10y, to get back to 1y, I divide by 10. If I divide by 10 on the left side, I have to divide each term on the right side by 10 as well. The 10 divided by 10 crosses out and gives me y. 90 divided by 10 leaves me with 9x, and 20 divided by 10 leaves me with minus 2. It then asks me to plug in specific x values to see what y I would get. If I plug a 0 in here, then I get 9 times 0 minus 2. That becomes 0 minus 2, or just negative 2. If I plug in 1/9, it becomes 9 times 1/9 minus 2, which becomes 1 minus 2, or negative 1. Finally, if I plug in 1, I get 9 times 1 minus 2, which gives me 9 minus 2, or 7. So each of these can be read as an xy pair, 0, negative 2, 1/9, negative 1, and 1, 7. If I graph 0, negative 2, it'd be somewhere around here. 1/9, negative 1 would be somewhere around there. And 1, 7 might be somewhere around there. The key one you need to hit when you're graphing this in the system is make sure you anchor it down here at 0, negative 2. Then draw the line through one of the other points. Question 2 asks me to graph the equation x equals. On your final, this might be a y equals equation. Basically, I just need to know what x or y equals lines look like and whether I'm in the positive or negative direction. So in general, a y equals line is a horizontal line. An x equals line is a vertical line. If it's a negative y, it's down here below the axis. If it's a negative x, it's over here to the left of the axis. Since this is a positive x, it's going to be to the right. If it had been a positive y, it would have been above. In this case, x equals 7/2. If I were to put that in my calculator, that would tell me 3.5. So I'd want to go over 1, 2, 3. Here's the mark for 4. In between these two, I'd want a vertical line going straight up and down. Again, x equals lines up and down at that x coordinate. Y equals lines left and right at that y coordinate. Number 3 asks me to find the slope between 3, negative 1 and 5, 4. This is a formula I think you should have at the ready in your notes when you get to this part of the final. Basically, it tells you that your slope m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, where both of these happen in parentheses so that I do that subtraction before the division. If I label my points, this would be x1, y1, x2, y2. So if I fill in, slope asks me to start with y2 or 4, subtract from that y1 or negative 1. On bottom, I'm going to start at x2, 5, and subtract from that 3. On top, 4 minus a negative 1 becomes 4 plus 1, which gives me 5. On bottom, 5 minus 3 gives me 2. So my final answer for slope there would be 5/2.